Latinos, we love them. Or I'm at least assuming you do. Latinos are an integral part of American culture. Whether you like it or not, they play a big part in the lives of society. In fact, all people of color do. Hispanics, Native Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, all people of color play an amazing part in society, including entertainment. More specifically, movies. But in movies and TV shows, the film industry, and as a whole the Latino community, has been sort of excluded from a lot of mainstream media in film and TV. And if they are included, they are resorted to a sort of side character role. But why is that the case? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Chris Monegro and I am a Dominican indie filmmaker in Philly. And lately I've noticed a lot of discourse in the Latino community in regards to film and how we are represented. Latinos in movies have always had a complicated history. One example of them being white actors being casted in the roles of Hispanic characters. Popular examples of that being the Addams Family. All versions of them until the most recent version have been depicted as Hispanic, but being entirely played by white people, besides the father in the 1991 version played by Raul Julia, rest in peace. The Addams Family is depicted as out of the ordinary, disconnected with society and having gothic characteristics, but also being depicted as a Hispanic family, because back in the 1960s, anything not white was considered abnormal. Another example of Latino exclusion is the Mexican stereotype. Any Latino in the early 2000s was considered a criminal, broke, a cartel member, or just straight up evil for whatever reason. This ended up being a lasting stereotype still seen to this day and used in hurtful hate speech and rhetoric against us now. A big reason why I wanted to make this video was because of the controversy I was seeing in the Latino community around the movie Sinners. When the movie Sinners released a couple weeks ago, Latino content creators on social media came together and bashed the film for its exclusion of us, and the discourse made me think of my own personal take on the whole drama. Why can't we make our own movies, our own version of Sinners? Dusk Till Dawn is a thing, I'm well aware, but have you noticed yet that the movies I'm showing on screen right now are from films from before the 2010s? Where are these movies now? But why not modern day? Why isn't there a modern day Latino movie in this current decade of our own version of Sinners? Or at least something similar to that. But then I realized why. Because the Latino community is so divided within itself that something like that movie cannot exist. Latinos from different backgrounds hate each other to the point where we can't even get together as a community and acknowledge the accomplishments made in recent years. The first ever major Hollywood superhero movie where the main cast is Latino and based heavily in its culture and background flopped in the box office because people didn't care enough. That movie was Blue Beetle, and that was our chance. My community's chance to show appreciation for the film, uplift it and the actors involved, and show Hollywood that we are capable of being the main characters in mainstream movies, and that we can actually have our own movies and TV shows. But in the end, the movie ended up flopping. Another example of superheroes is Miles Morales. His movies are amazing, but he's not considered Hispanic in the larger community because of how dark his skin is, or the fact that he's a No Sabo kid. And don't even get me started on the treatment of No Sabo kids in Hollywood. But even after all that, there are still Latinos to this day talking about how we don't have any representation. So how about we make steps towards building up a movie like Sinners, a movie that represents us and our culture, a movie that we can call our own? Why do we have to rely on other groups and minorities to represent us in their movies, when we can do that ourselves? In order for us as a community to break the cycle of Latinos not being given the respect we deserve, we need to start giving ourselves the respect we deserve, and stop the division. Whether or not someone is from Mexico, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Ecuador, Argentina, Honduras, or the Dominican Republic, we need to stop acting so different, acting like we aren't one in the same melting pot, and actually lift up people in our community, lift up people who are in the film industry and can make films like Sinners. But for us, for our people, not get other groups to do the work for us. We are better than that. Latinos are hard-working people, the hardest workers I've ever met in my life. And we as a community can literally do whatever we come up with. We've done amazing things the times we actually have. So we can do it again.